Hey there. How are you guys? This is Christina with leadsandleverage.com. I just realized I'm still wearing my sunglasses. Sorry about that. And if you want to be notified when I go live and when I share tips and stuff, go up here in this corner. I keep telling you to go to that corner, but it's actually in that corner. And click on live subscribe. Sorry about the misdirection on that. Today, if you're watching in replay, I am talking about 3 things that we do that actually kills our email deliverability, and we don't even realize that it affects our deliverability. So I wanted to talk about those, and as people are getting on, a little bit, hi Chris, I wanted to kind of explain a little bit about what I mean when I say email deliverability. So there are all kinds of factors when it comes to sending emails, whether you're sending an individual email or you're sending bulk emails. But email deliverability is a huge, hey there, is a huge, it's a big issue. Overall, in general, the email deliverability rates are around 70%. That means that about 70% of all emails being sent actually make it to their destination, which means that you're probably missing emails you didn't know you were missing, and what you're sending is getting stopped. Now, there's all kinds of different places that your email can get blocked or stopped that have nothing to do with the user themselves, with you or I. There are, if your email provider is through maybe the verbiage on this, if you get email like through maybe Comcast or Time Warner, so you have an at Comcast or an at Time Warner or at Roadrunner or AOL or Hotmail, any one of those things, those providers control what comes into your email inbox. It's not a free-for-all. You don't get everything you sign up for. You don't get everything that's sent to you. They control it and they block stuff and bounce stuff for any number of reasons. Their systems could be down. They may decide that a certain domain has been blacklisted, and so they won't let that domain come through. Or sometimes we get emails, like a lot of agents have their emails through their brokerage or their franchise. One franchise in particular has a low email deliverability rate, meaning that more emails are blocked or bounced from that franchise domain than any other. And it's because of the standards or the tightening that they have on those, on like a barrier, like a wall, a fortress that everything has to go through first. So be aware that email deliverability starts with who you're using as your main email provider, whether it's an at franchise.com, at brokerage.com, at internetserviceprovider.com, or at Hotmail, or at AOL, or any one of those. So what we want to try and do is combat some of those deliverability issues. And there are 3 main things that, it's not just real estate agents, but because I look at so many of your emails, this is what I see. So first of all, when you have too many links in your email, and the data that I'm going to give you guys, the data comes from HubSpot and MailChimp, who have done different research studies based upon billions of email. I think the first time they did it, it was 9 billion email, and the second time that they did it in 2014, so that was the first time in 2012. In 2014, the next time they did it, it was something like 20 some, I can't remember the exact number, but 20 billion emails, and they're going to be updating again in 2016. So in other words, what I'm going to give you are stats and data based on fact, not based on what we like or what we think or what we might have experienced on our own. It's based on billions of email, okay? So first of all, too many links. If you have more than 3 links in your email, sometimes it needs to be as little as 2, but if you have more than 3 links in your email, you're setting yourselves up for a much higher spam reporting. And that's not from the user, that's from the email providers, the email people that are the way your email is going through. So for example, our email signatures, what we tend to do is we put our name and our brokerage and our phone number, and then we put our Facebook link and our Twitter link and our website link and our search for homes links and our home value link and our this link and our that link. Guys, you have too many, and if you put any links in the email itself, you've just screwed yourself. Your email has a very small chance of being delivered. If it's delivered, it has a very high chance of being reported as spam, not by the user, by who the system is going through. So who you're sending it to, not the person, but their provider. So we need to get rid of the links, guys. When you're doing your email signatures, there's way too many things. Not to mention, let's just go beyond the whole data and stats that we're talking about when it comes to email deliverability, but you're giving way too many calls to actions to the people who are getting your email, way too much. We're so afraid of missing that little tiny percentage of people who might want to do X, Y, Z, that we're afraid to actually speak to the majority of people who would want to do ABC. What do I mean by that? Well, when you have multiple ways to contact you, multiple ways to connect with all of your different social media channels that you're not even on all of them anyway, so why are you putting links to all of them on there? Your multiple ways to hop into your funnels, whether they're a buyer or a seller or an investor, way too much. So aside from the stats and data that very clearly say if you have more than 3 links in your email, and actually it's gone down to 2 links, but 2 to 3 is your best. If you have any more than 3 links in your email, your deliverability plummets. Aside from that, you have way too much call to action. People look at these really long emails or signatures and go, okay, and go right past it. There's just too much in there. So too many links in your emails. You don't want more than 3 links in your entire email, including your email signature. So you need to pick, if you're going to put a link, an actual link in your email signature, you need to make sure you only have 2 links in your email. So be aware of that, guys. That's huge for deliverability. The next thing are too many images. And again, this is all based on the data from HubSpot and MailChimp, 20-some billion email that they've gotten all this research from. Too many images. If you have more than 1 image in your email, your deliverability plummets. Deliverability rates plummet. Now, by image, I'm including when you have these fancy, just a minute, I'm getting warm. I need to roll down my window. It's warmer today. Gorgeous and sunny out. When you have more than 1 image in your email, like I said, your deliverability rates plummet. So here's what I'm talking about with that. We get so caught up in our branding and we get so caught up in making our emails pretty that we forget that the reason some emails are sent ugly, the reason I send ugly emails with usually no images, maybe sometimes I put 1 in it. The reason why is because I want you to actually get the emails. I know based on stats and data that you can't put that much in. Can everybody hear me? Yes, Chris can hear me. Jody, you need to probably turn on, if you're watching on your phone, you probably need to turn your phone off silence. Just so you're aware. Sometimes you can't hear based on, when my phone is on vibrate, I sometimes can't hear the video. Just a tip. Anyway, so too many images. So we get caught up in branding. We get caught up in doing headers. We get caught up in putting our face picture, and we want to have pictures of houses, and we want to have all this stuff. Too many images affect deliverability. Hey, Jody, the sound is not from my end. The sound is from your end. So my end's going to look different than your end. Cheris, Marie, Chris, you guys can all hear me, right? Because you responded. Chris responded. I just want to make sure you guys can all hear me. So too many images, guys. So we have to kind of get over the concept. Yeah, Cheris can hear me. Okay, good. We have to get over the need to make our emails fancy and pretty. We want them deliverable first. So always be thinking of that. You don't need your face in your emails. You don't need all these other, thank you, Marie. You don't need to, okay, awesome, Jody. You don't need all these other things. In fact, they're hurting you when you put them in there. So think deliverability first, then think, okay, what kind of image do I need to put in there? Chris says, on too many images, does that include HTML templates that are visual rather than text-based? Yes. Now, yes, that can affect, but it is actually the image tag, the IMG tag in the coding. HTML can affect it. I still send HTML emails, but make sure when you send HTML emails, if you have a whatever, Chris, when you're talking about the template, excuse me, guys, excuse me. When you send HTML emails, make sure you send a text-only version as well. So then the next one, looking at my notes. Okay, so here's the next one. So too many links, any more than 3 links, any more than 1 image. And the next one, this one's not actually based on HubSpot stats or MailChimp stats. This is actually based on digital marketer stats, this one. Sorry, guys. Too much sales, not enough value. So what happens is we send all these sales emails and sales and push and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and we lose our focus on the value we need to be providing. And here's what I mean by that. If you get my emails, if you get my general emails, my basic, I call them my refreshed emails, it's all about value. I'm either asking you questions or giving you answers to those questions. And if I have something that will be an additional answer or an enhanced answer to that question, I'll include a link to it. But if you go into one of my funnels, which is like you sign up for something that then goes into something else that you can purchase or upgrade, those emails are different. Those are not the emails that I'm talking about. Those are part of a journey that you're on. I'm talking about your weekly or twice a week value emails where you're just giving value, where you're helping your target client on their journey. For example, now what I've done, because I'm doing so many Facebook Lives, I'm answering your questions. You guys are asking me questions via email or maybe in Facebook groups, and I'm coming on live to answer your questions. And then what I'm doing is I'm sharing these questions, these answers, these videos with you guys in my community, in my email community list. So it's all value. So what are you doing? Are you doing too much sales, too much push? Is it all about listings? Is it all about listing your house? Is it all about buying? Is it all about lending? Or is there other value that you're giving? So after somebody has purchased a house, do you just stop communicating with them? Do you stop talking to them because, hey, they're not going to buy a house for another 6 years and 6 months or 6 years and 8 months or whatever the stat is? Or are you helping them on their journey? What's their journey? Well, as a new homeowner, what are things that they need to do right away? Should they change the keys, door locks? Should they file for a homeowner's exemption, depending on what state they're in? Should they check all the vents in the house? What are things that they should do as a brand new homeowner immediately? Are you helping them on that journey? So then as they start living there and they want to start getting maybe things painted or upgraded or whatever, do you have resources? Sorry, I've got a dog in the car that he might bark. I apologize in advance. Are you giving resources? Do you have a way for them to connect with maybe a handyman or discounts to your local Ace Hardware or anything along those lines? What are you doing to provide value that isn't, hey, you want to buy another house? They just bought one. They're going to buy another one. So what are you doing to provide value along that journey so that they're inclined? Sorry, guys. Saw kids and wanted to bark. So what are you doing to provide value? So here are the 3 things that affect deliverability. The first 2 are based directly on stats, and the email systems are affected by it. More than 3 links in your email. More than 1 image in your email. The third one is actually based on users, and users tend to unsubscribe, report as spam if you have too many sales messages in your value-filled emails. Okay, so hopefully that helped you guys. Chris, I need to look. I know you asked on too many images. Does that include HTML templates that are visual rather than text-based? So I actually need to reread the stats again to see if that includes any HTML templates. I do know it's the images. I'm fairly certain that what I'm quoting to you, what I'm sharing with you guys is the image of the IMG tag itself. But in an HTML email, they have image tags for all the different the headers and the footers and things like that. So I'm not real sure where that stands on that. So I need to look at that for you. It's called, actually, I can just give it to you guys. It's called The Science of Email Marketing, and it's HubSpots. And there's one from 2012 and one from 2014. I highly suggest watching, now that's pretty long, it's pretty in-depth. I highly suggest watching the 2012 one first, and then watching the 2014 one, because what you're going to see are, first of all, the changes and how they're tweaking and maybe the direction things are going, but also what hasn't changed and what continues to stay the same despite double and triple the number of emails that they can actually track all this with. Any other questions, you guys? Just wanted to get those three things that we do, especially in our email signatures, that kill us dead. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Mary Frances. How are you guys today? This is a short one today. I just went through the email deliverability rates and what kills it. And I will be wrapping this up soon. I wanted to give a few seconds to any questions you guys have. Oh, and if you guys have, oh, good, awesome. Mary Frances is good. If you guys are having any issues finding your Facebook Live and you have an iPhone for your business page, it has moved to the Pages app. It is no longer in the Facebook app. Jody says, so a logo and a testimonial is fine. Well, if your logo is your only image, yeah, just one image. But if you want to put a picture of your testimonial people, then there's two images, and it kills your deliverability. So you definitely want to make sure you focus on, this isn't about branding, this isn't about recognition of your logo, this is about building a relationship. So don't waste your deliverability options on logos and other things like that. Awesome, Lisa. Fabulous, you guys. I'm going to do one of these every day this week. I have a whole bunch of topics. They're actually back at the office, or at my house. So Mary says, my template on my MailChimp that includes links for all my social media and my website is bad. Yes, it is. It's way too much. I started out with one of those fancy templates on MailChimp, had a really low email deliverability rate. I also started going through some more email training, email marketing training, and noticed that, oh, okay, I need to remove all this. Then I started looking at people who were actually kind of powerhouses in building relationships via email, and started learning from them. And then, of course, I went through the HubSpot training and all that kind of stuff that I'm sharing with you today. So, yeah, your template that includes all the links is not good. You want one link. I'm sorry, you want no more than 3 links, so probably just one in your email or in your signature, but no more than 3 in the entire email. And then, yeah, I know. But Mary, you can continue to keep that template, but just eliminate some of those things. Because I used to have a Pinterest and a few other links options for people to connect. Now, when I send an email, I focus on one. What do I want people to do today? Do I want people to connect with me on Pinterest today? So that's what I'm going to focus on in this email. So I only have the one link. Okay, what do I want to do today? Do I want them to come over and come to my Facebook Live events? Then I usually have an event in there. So I focus on the one thing per day, or one, not per day, but each time I'm emailing, rather than trying to get it all done in one. So Mark says, so are attachments better than links? Well, you won't be able to bulk send attachments, first of all. And second of all, don't send attachments to anybody who's not expecting attachments. They get stripped. So I'm not sure what you would be sending instead, but if you're linking to, I'm trying to figure out what you would link to aside from maybe a house property or a DocuSign document or something like that. Can you give me an idea, Mark, of what you're thinking, so I can answer that for you? Hi, Ben. Hi, Mari. Hi, Diana. Mary says, no, I'm so proud of it. I know, Mary. It is so hard. What is hard about this whole thing is that we like pretty, we like branding, we like all those fancy things. But the problem is, all those fancy things don't get our emails into people's email boxes. So we have to work within, kind of find out what actually works, and then work around that and work within that. Because we're not going to be able to change that part of it, but we can certainly change our ability to get into their inboxes. Okay, so like a home value. So Mark, if somebody's asking for their home value and you're emailing it to them, you can send it as a link. You're not going to have really any other links. As long as you only have 3 links in the email itself, or 3 or fewer. It's really better if you have fewer. 1 or 2 is ideal. But after 3 is where the big, huge drop in deliverability rate happens. As long as you have those under and they just want to link to the home value, then you can do that, or you can send it as an attachment if that's what they're expecting. Hey, Ben. So we're talking email deliverability. And I was waiting for my son for his practice. I'm out if I'm in the car, and it's a Tuesday or Thursday, I'm probably sitting outside his Taekwondo dojang or however you pronounce it. Probably sitting outside of it. And I told him if I'm on the phone and the phone is on the steering wheel, if you could just wait until I'm done. So he's waiting for me. So did you guys get that? Email deliverability. We have way too many images. We want 1 or fewer. The highest deliverability is no images. That's the highest deliverability. The second highest deliverability is 1 image. Everything else is like 50% drop. It's huge. Big, huge difference. The highest deliverability with links is when you have 2 or fewer. That's the highest. When you have 3 or more than 3, then your deliverability starts dropping. And calls to actions, we have way too many, which, ironically enough, we have too many calls to actions, but when we eliminate all those links that we're trying to get people to go to, we kind of eliminate those calls to actions so that we only focus on 1. Any other questions, you guys? Sorry, letting my son know to be quiet. Come on in the carpet to be quiet. Any other calls to actions? Any other questions? Any other calls to action stuff? No other questions? I think the door will open. Nope, hold on. So 1 call to action, 0 to 1 image, and 1 to 2 links. Yes, those are the ideal deliverability numbers based on some billions of emails that HubSpot had in their latest research, which was 2014. I think they have another one. Sorry about that. They have another one coming out in 2016 as well. So that one will be out. Yeah, I sometimes I have to put more than 1 call to action in an email, and it never performs as well as an email that has 1 single call to action. The single call to action always performs better, but sometimes there's a couple things like overlapping that I need to get out, and people need to know. So I always hesitate to do it, but sometimes you have to do it. Yes, so Jody says, title companies that use Comcast, my emails won't deliverable. Probably because I'm attaching contracts. That very well could be. It could also be, it could be a number of things. If you're attaching, but it's going to the title company, they're used to receiving a contract attachments. It could also be that they just have such a, I don't even know what they call them, because I don't know the technical terminology for what they actually call a blacklist or I don't know the technical terminology for that. but it's some sort of firewall. It's like a firewall is the best description I can think of. And they set the email provider or the internet provider. It may not even be the email provider. So Comcast Internet, even if they're not sending and receiving email directly through, like with a Comcast email, if they're still using them as an internet service provider, it still affects it, which is another reason for you guys having something out in the cloud. So pay for Google Apps. It's $5 a month. If you pay for Google Apps and you have your own domain come through it, you're not affected by the internet service provider deliverability, which is fabulous by any of that. Hey, Pete. So you're not affected by that, and that's what you want. You want to not be affected by that. Any other questions, you guys? Looks like it's about time to wrap up. And Mark says, have to run. Such a great time with this topic. I'm doing MailChimp this week. Yes. A lot of times we just forget. We don't know. We don't know until we forget to factor in email deliverability. We had no idea. My husband is running, he's doing all of the email marketing for a local nonprofit. That's one of his volunteer things. And when I was teaching him about email deliverability, and when you switch over and you start doing this, you're going to see issues. And so what's very interesting is he's finding exactly what I told him, different issues, different internet providers and different email providers not allowing different emails to come through. So very interesting. Like something from a Gmail, a private personal Gmail might go through, but something from the corporate, or not the corporate, but the nonprofit might not go through, and vice versa. It's all around the different firewalls that they have set up in the different settings. So the best that you can do is go with some of these known and tried and true things, which is 0 to 1 image, preferably 2 or fewer links, 3 at the most, and 1 call to action. Now that's a user stat, not a data stat on that last one. Hopefully that made sense. Any other questions, you guys? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this one up. And I will be back with you guys tomorrow. I have another Q&A that I'll do tomorrow. Sometime tomorrow. I have it on this. I'll add the event to the group. In the meantime, if you have any more questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. Actually, the comments might be beside here. Jody, yes. Actually, no, I don't want you to watch that. I want you to go through the training that I did that took out what you needed and made it succinct for you. You don't need to go through the whole thing, especially you. Too many shiny objects for you. It's very interesting, but you need to be implementing. So I'll give you the resource, but I want you to promise that you'll just look at the few things that I know is important for you and for your email deliverability. Hopefully. Marie says, this is gold info. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, it's pretty valuable. Things that we just don't think about in our. The biggest thing that got this, guys, was last week I emailed everybody in my email community and asked a question. I asked you guys a question. I got hundreds of responses, but what I started noticing were the email signatures. And I went, oh, wow. I bet a lot of these people are having trouble getting their emails through things. So that's what brought this whole thing up. Pete said, oh, hey, this is live. Totally thought it was a replay. Well, it's about to go into replay. I'm just about done. But yes, you're right. Jody says, I promise I don't send any emails because I have to implement. Well, if sending emails is part of implementing, because you need to be building a relationship with the people that you're bringing into your email list. So make sure you're building that relationship. And I know that sounds big and vague and but we're going to be walking through that, especially in LNL Live, which I know you're coming, and through over the next several months inside Facebook Domination Secret. So we're going to kind of walk through, because you can't use any of the canned stuff that vendors give you, because those don't build relationships. Those just do what they call touches and annoy the heck out of people. You don't have a list yet, Jody? Start making a list. I know you got people you can add to it. But yes, get that list created. If you haven't started that list, I'm pointing, what's this, the mom finger? Da, da, da. Yeah, Any other questions, you guys? It takes about 15, it's about a 15-second delay from when I ask you that and you guys, and I see responses. So I'm going to wrap this up and I will do another one tomorrow. I will see you guys tomorrow. It is gorgeous today. It's still not quite 60 degrees, but oh my gosh, it's sunny. It's sunny and beautiful, and there are buds on the trees, and the birds are singing. Well, they were this morning, they're not right now. And it's awesome. I love spring. You're welcome, Jody. Thanks, you guys. I love the questions, love the interaction. I will see you guys tomorrow. Talk to you later.